Last week we had the Republican retreat in Baltimore. So Republican senators, Republican House members were there, and there was an hour and a half panel discussion on executive overreach. You know, the executive branch doing things that, in my judgment, aren't square with the Constitution. And the panel was Kim Strassel, writes for the Wall Street Journal, wonderful lady. Jonah Goldberg, some of you may know, and Dr. Larry Arnn, president of Hillsdale College. And then the fourth one was Jonathan Turley. So you got three conservatives, and then Mr. Turley leans more to the left. And he made a statement that stuck with me and really made me think. He said, for the first time, I am nervous about the kind of system of government my kids are going to live under. Now think about that. He didn't just say what we're all, as parents, we all want our kids to have a better life, more opportunities, higher standard of living, and Americans are nervous about the next generation having that happen. He didn't say that. He said, I'm nervous about the type of system of government my children might live under. And again, understand the perspective. Not a conservative. This is a guy who comes more from the left, but he's a constitutional scholar, law professor, understands the Constitution. That stuck with me. I mean, we are at a point in history. My old coach used to talk about moments of magnitude, moments of significance, and I would argue he talked in the big competitions coming up, and we can think about it sometimes on just a personal and family level, big moments in your life you're never going to forget. But sometimes those moments of significance, moments of meaning, moments of magnitude take on a broader context, and they apply to an entire country. And I would argue we're at one of those critical moments where we can't just lollygag around anymore. We need people in Washington with the background and perspective and, frankly, the attitude that Warren has. And that's why I'm proud to support him. I hope he's going to be the next guy. I think he's going to be the next guy to represent the 8th District of Ohio. He's the kind of guy we need in Washington, the kind of guy who's going to stand up for the principles that made our country great in the first place, and do it even, frankly, sometimes if it bothers some other people. You know, there's, I share this story sometimes. How many of you ever seen the movie 1776? You ever watch that show, the musical? Great show, and it came out in 1976. And, of course, the storyline is that summer in Philadelphia where the founders wrote the document that launched this amazing thing we call America. And all they go through to get unanimous approval to write the Declaration, sign the Declaration, and have the vote and declare independence from Great Britain. And the scene I like the best is Jefferson has written the Declaration. They're now doing what legislative bodies do. They're marking it up. They're amending and deleting and changing things. And Adams, of course, he's been the driving force behind this. He wants to get on. He wants to have the vote. So he's sort of impatient, and he's trying to prod and push and get things moving. But they're going through the markup. And one member stands up and says, well, we need to change this paragraph because when King George reads this, it's a little too strong, and he might not read it. We need to kind of tone that down a little bit and delete some of these. Adams rolls his eyes, and they go. And the next member stands up and says, yeah, and this particular section, when Parliament reads this is a little too strong. We may want to change this a little bit. Again, Adams rolls his eyes. Finally, a third member stands up, and he says, we got to get rid of this paragraph altogether because this could jeopardize our deep-sea fishing rights off the coast of New England. And Adams can't take it any longer, and he says, it's a revolution, dang it. We're going to have to offend somebody. And the point is, our job is not to offend. Our job is to stand strong when people who like the current structure, like the current process, like the current system, want to continue that. Our job is to stand strong, not to offend them, but to stand for the truth and do what we told the voters we were going to do when they gave us the privilege to serve. I believe Warren Davidson has that attitude, that approach, and the right perspective, the right experience to come there and fight that fight and be a part of the solution and putting this country, the greatest country on earth, back on the path it deserves to be on, that the American people want it to be on. And that's why I'm supporting him. And I'm glad all of you are here, and most of you are doing the same thing, going to support him. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for getting off the sidelines and getting in the game. I learned a long time ago, good things don't happen by hanging out in the sidelines. You got to get out of the bleachers and get into the game, and thank you for doing that, and you're doing it for a good guy who's going to be your next congressman. So Warren Davidson, come on up here, brother.
Thank you very much, Congressman Jim Jordan. Just one of the amazing things, it's very humbling to hear a lot of people say very kind things about you, people that you've known for years, some as friends, some as pastors, people that you've just gotten to know that you admire from a distance like Jim Jordan. It's just an incredible experience to go through. And just to see many of you who I haven't even got to meet yet, some people I met briefly here come and show an interest in this and an interest in this campaign is just incredibly humbling. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your interest in this. And for a lot of you guys, I want to tell you, why I'm running. So in October, I was focused on growing companies. We've got 2 companies in Troy. We've got a company in Fairfield. Really, one of the companies in Troy, my dad, who's sitting up here, started in 1987. In 1987, I was a high school senior. I was a new Christian guy, and I wanted to be an Army Ranger. So I joined the Army out of high school and served over in Germany. I was there when the wall came down, and it was just an amazing experience to see people see their first days of freedom in West Berlin after they had helped take down that wall. My chain of command during that time helped me go to West Point. So from an enlisted guy, really a life-changing thing for somebody to help me go do something like that. So when I got there, I made the most of the opportunity. I worked my butt off, and I graduated. I went back into the infantry, and I went into the Ranger Regiment. I was an Army Ranger, and was really focused on a career in the Army. One of the things that made that possible was me and my wife, Lisa. We've been married for 20 years. We met a week before I started West Point. She came to Western Ohio from St. Louis area to help set up backyard Bible clubs or vacation Bible schools, and just happened to be in Sydney, Ohio, in the church that my mom took me to when I was a little kid, and helping set up Bible schools. And so we met that way and could not go on a date. I thought, wow, I can actually go on a date with this girl. I asked her out, and she said, no, I can't. And I said, well, I misread that. And so she was faithful to the pledge that she had made. She said, I will do what I said I would do. I will not date this guy. And we didn't have our first date until the fall of my freshman year there. So she came out to West Point. We spent a year seeing each other, sometimes only twice a week, because we had a club we could see each other at on Tuesday nights, and we had church we could see each other on Sundays, and then some weekends you had more privileges than others there. So that led to us being married. We've got 2 kids, Zach and Rachel. Rachel's a senior in high school. Zach's a sophomore. And so along the way, we thought we would be career people in the Army. In 2000, I got out. And I got out after being in Ranger Regiment in 1998 when Kenya and Tanzania embassies were bombed. That was in August of 98. And the Clinton administration sent over the FBI to deal with that problem. And so in 9/11, that was Al-Qaeda. That was led by bin Laden in those days. In 9/11, everybody really had Monday morning quarterback. They knew the right thing to do. A lot of people knew the right thing to do then. And so it would have been really great to see people stand for that then. The other thing is we spent a lot of time in the 2000s kind of going after Occupy Every Square Inch of the Middle East strategy, or a lot of the Middle East strategy, and really started dialing in on that in the mid-2000s when you had guys like Petraeus and McChrystal leading the fight. And then we had a change of command at the commander-in-chief level and kind of disregard those things. So some of the national security things and the frustrations over where that might head led to us deciding to get out in 2000. And when I did, my dad had a small job shop in Troy. We had about 20 people at that time. We had 4 stamping presses, and we grew it. So he wanted to change it, and so I came there in order to help him do that. And today, we have, with the help of Doug Tiger, who's a business partner, in 2014, we spent most of the year and part of the year of 2013 figuring out how to put a deal together. So Doug bought a company here in Fairfield, RK Metals, and then he put it together with the 2 that we had up in Troy, and today we're operating it together. We're really focused on doing that. And in the fall, we decided that we were going to consider putting an addition onto our building. So that gets up to how did I meet this guy? We met because I was talking to a former Marine infantry guy, and we were talking about frustration over people going to Washington, D.C., or Columbus, or wherever the case may be, and making all kinds of promises, talking about all kinds of things, and then no change happens. And in Ohio, you've got the House, you've got the Senate, you've got the governor, we've even got the courts for the most part in Ohio. And the things that people say they're against don't change. The people say they're for, they don't change. Who do you blame in Ohio? In D.C., okay, we said we needed the House. You have Republican control of the House. We said we need the Senate. We got control of the Senate. And still nothing changes. So we were talking about that and what difference can one guy make. Benghazi was in the news that week, and so was Jim Jordan, because he was uncovering emails and finding out a disconnect between people that would say one thing to the public and one thing to the family, and know what difference does it make. You don't have to have served in Ranger Regiment to know what difference it makes, and it means a lot to all of us. And so when I met, when we were talking about that, he said, do you know Jim Jordan? I said, no, I don't, but I really respect him and admire him. I think he's there doing the right things. He said, you guys would really like each other, and he arranged, connected us via Adam Hewitt back there. So we met, had a short conversation, and my question to Jim is the reason that still makes me think I'd be interested in this. I said, I'm not sure if somebody could give me the job, I would even want to go there. Why wouldn't you be more frustrated than we are? You sit through all these C-SPAN level meetings, you read the thousands of pages, and you go there and it still is this way. So do you feel even more exasperated than we do? And he said, no, I don't. And he said, Warren, you've been in units, you've been on sports teams, you know what it's like to work together to get things done, and that's what the Freedom Caucus is all about. And a lot of times, really, it's the whole party and even some of the Democrats. The news doesn't cover that much. Sometimes, though, you have to stand on principle. Sometimes it's just a few people, and you have to really decide what's important to you. And he said, you're that kind of guy. You would really love it there. You would be able to make a difference if you ever chose to go do it. And at that time, thinking about it in this race probably wasn't, that was pretty quick. This was, just a couple months ago. And we started looking at this race and looking and saying, is there really a need for somebody to jump in? And I think the validation for that today is full circle. Thank you, Jim, for your support. Thank you for the work that you've been doing way before I was getting out of the sidelines and stepping into this race. And, I just encourage you and the guys to keep fighting for the things that made this country great in the first place. It really is important that our children inherit a great country and not a great history. And, it's important to remember that in the day, Reagan's the guy that coined the phrase, the Republican wing of the Republican Party. If you look at the news today, they would have you think that anybody that wants to stand on their principles is a radical outsider. They're very grounded people that go there in order to keep the promises they're making to the friends and family that worked hard to send them there. And the people we're most exasperated with are the people that don't do that. They go there and they talk about it. They go there and they say, oh, we're opposed to Common Core. You got control of everything. How can you not get it done? We're opposed to Obamacare. How do you lock it in and make it permanent in the state of Ohio and build your budget off of it? How is it that you can have control of the House and the Senate for 6 years and have this pretty slogan, repeal and replace, and just 2 weeks ago is the first time the guy had to veto it? There really, really a lot of pent-up frustration to see people go there who do what they said. I'm not looking for a change in career. I'm looking for a change in Washington, and I want to go there and fight for you, and I want to go there and fight for the people of this district, and I really believe one guy can make a difference. I want to get your vote, your support, and I want to ask you to get engaged in this fight. Come out and support our campaign in every way you can. Tell your friends and neighbors to do the same. And we will fight with you. We'll be in the trenches. We'll be knocking the doors. We'll be making the phone calls. We'll be raising the money that it takes to pull this off. But I really, really think it's a fight worth fighting. It makes all the difference in the world to the direction of this country. So thank you very much. I really want to get to know some more of you. And I hope you'll stick around to learn more about how you can support the campaign. We're going to have an event this weekend to learn how to go door to door, fulfill out our surveys, and do that. So if you're interested in staying here, please stay in this room. We're going to have a short break, and we're going to a few people to gather outside. So thank you very much.